Alright, ladies and gentlemen, settle in, grab a bucket of popcorn, or, if you're Carlos Whitefeather Hathcock, maybe just some tactical trail mix, because today we're talking about spies, but not the cool James Bond kind, or even the legendary Virginia Hall kind. The kind who slides into your DMs smoother than a well-oiled deception campaign and might just be working for the Chinese government. Yeah, I know, seems crazy, but according to news and government sources, it's happening. So, the US government, specifically the NCSC, FBI, and DCSA, put out a warning. They're saying foreign intelligence entities, especially China, are out there targeting current and former US government employees. How are they doing it? By posing as totally legit-sounding outfits like consulting firms, corporate headhunters, think tanks, and other entities on your favorite social and professional networking sites. They're throwing out deceptive job offers and other virtual approaches, and get this, they're getting pretty sophisticated about it. They're specifically going after folks with US Gov backgrounds who are maybe looking for a new gig. They say opportunity knocks, but when it slides into your LinkedIn messages promising 6 figures and flexible hours, that's less of a career move and more of a classified leak waiting to happen. Now, I have some names and some stories that really highlight what's going on. Let's start with a dude named Seth Hettena. Turns out, this guy, who writes about military and intelligence stuff, found himself right in the middle of one of these operations. He got a direct message on X from a Mary Taylor claiming to be from something called the Visionary Advisory Group. Initially, they wanted his opinion on potential conflict between China and Taiwan. Seemed maybe okay, right? But then, things got weird. Mary sent an email asking for non-public information related to China. That's a giant, blinking, neon red flag, folks. They wanted insights from internal briefings, cross-agency meetings, even staff-level dialogue that hadn't hit the news yet. Basically, they were asking for secrets. Hettena dug a little, and the whole thing smelled fishy. File names from Mary's supposed co-workers had Mandarin words in them. He also noticed the language "build a high-trust, ongoing relationship," which, if you know anything about spycraft, is straight out of their playbook. He realized he was being pitched by what looked like a Chinese intelligence operation masquerading as a consultancy. The sources point out this isn't new. China has been using front companies and fake job offers for years. It's more efficient for them to sit behind a computer and send out requests to thousands of targets than to send spies over here. Hettena even used ChatGPT to craft a response, which is basically spy versus spy becoming AI versus AI, like a cybernetic Cold War, minus the trench coats. In the end, he didn't share anything and didn't hear back, but the experience shows just how these initial contacts can happen. Next up, let's talk about Corbian Schultz. This guy was a 25-year-old Army intelligence analyst with a top-secret clearance. He got caught selling classified military information to someone he believed was working for the Chinese government. His connection started on a freelance web-based work platform. The handler, referred to as Conspirator A, initially posed as a client from a geopolitical consulting firm. At first, they just wanted analysis on US military capabilities, especially related to Taiwan and the Russia-Ukraine conflict. But, like the sources warn, they pressed harder for sensitive and classified stuff, offering more money. Schultz took the bait. Between 2022 and his arrest in March 2024, he sent dozens of sensitive military documents. We're talking export-controlled technical data, info on weapon systems, tactics, and strategy. Some specifics mentioned include lessons learned from the Ukraine/Russia war and how the US would apply them in a defense of Taiwan. An operational order for his unit deploying to Eastern Europe for NATO operations. Tactics for countering drones in large-scale combat. Documents about F-22A Raptors and HH-60W helicopters. Info on intercontinental ballistic missiles and missile defense systems like HIMARS and THAAD. He got paid about $42,000 over 14 payments for this. His motive? Beyond the money, he apparently told his handler he wished he could be Jason Bourne. Seriously? Jason Bourne, who was trying to escape the intelligence world, not sell secrets to a foreign adversary. Except instead of dodging assassins, he was dropping secrets for cash. Someone missed the point of those movies, come on, man. To make it worse, he and the Chinese contact even tried to recruit one of his friends, who was also an Army intelligence analyst assigned to U.S. Indo-Pacific Command, that's the command covering China. He pleaded guilty in August and was sentenced to 7 years in prison. As one brigadier general put it, his actions put Army personnel at risk and placed individual gain above honor. The FBI director called it a stark warning to those who betray the country. Now, I also found out about a Romanian guy named Tomasz Sabo, also known as Plank, Jonah. Sabo also went by Cypher, yeah, like in the Matrix. And we all remember how well that turned out for him. Spoiler, not great. He pleaded guilty to leading a long-running conspiracy involving swatting and bomb threats across the United States. His targets included dozens of government officials, churches, businesses, and journalists, even a former U.S. president. Sabo operated from overseas. So right about now you're thinking, cool story brah, what's this got to do with Chinese spy recruiting? Well, his case appears in the related content. Sections of Justice Department press releases concerning the Schultz sentencing and the indictment of foreign nationals for a plot to silence a U.S. dissident and smuggle military tech to China. The press release about the plot to silence the dissident explicitly names 2 foreign nationals, Cui Guanghai of China and John Miller of the UK, charged with interstate stalking and trying to get and export sensitive U.S. military technology to China. While Sabo's case is listed alongside these in the sources, the provided text does not state that Sabo himself was working for or directed by Chinese intelligence for his swatting activities. It seems his case is presented in the same context as other foreign-linked criminal activities the Justice Department is addressing. Yeah, sure. I say follow the money. So, what's the U.S. doing about this whole foreign targeting mess? Well, they're trying a few things. First off, they're putting out warnings like the one from NCSC, FBI, and DCSA, telling current and former employees to be suspicious of online approaches, especially if they involve high salaries, urgency, or excessive flattery. They advise practicing good cyber hygiene, being careful what you post online about work or clearances, reviewing privacy settings, and not accepting invites from strangers you can't validate. If you're a current employee, you gotta follow rules about outside employment and get offers reviewed. And if you think you've been targeted, they want you to report it to social media platforms or the FBI. Sure, I mean, if I wasn't getting 5 DMs a day from hot Chinese gals, yes, I'm using air quote fingers, wanting to connect or mistaking me for someone they know. Hey, I like chatting with them. Using DeepSeek to generate responses and tying up more of China's compute. But I'm a Richard that way. On the flip side, the CIA is getting pretty bold themselves. They've released slick videos in Mandarin, sometimes with Chinese subtitles, aimed at recruiting disaffected Chinese officials to spy for the U.S. They're essentially saying, America is open for business, just don't expect a 401k with your undercover espionage gig. This is part of an effort to boost intelligence collection on China, which the U.S. intelligence community sees as a formidable challenge. They've even posted on social media detailing how Chinese citizens can contact the CIA. However, recruiting inside China is apparently really tough because of their robust surveillance state, and some experts think the CIA's messaging might not be perfectly smooth. Plus, recent U.S. political context and potential cuts to the CIA could make things harder. Beyond warnings and recruitment efforts, the U.S. is prosecuting people who get caught betraying their trust, like Corby and Schultz. The Justice Department, the FBI, and military counterintelligence are working together to root out espionage. They are investigating and indicting foreign nationals engaged in criminal activity on U.S. soil, including plots related to silencing dissidents and smuggling tech. The message from the top is clear: betraying your country for personal gain has a steep price, and they're going to keep pursuing those who do. So, the long and short of it is, foreign intelligence, particularly from China, is actively trying to scoop up secrets by targeting U.S. government employees, past and present, online. They're using sophisticated scams, and sometimes it works, like in the case of Corby and Schultz. The U.S. is responding with public warnings, advice, and aggressive prosecution of those caught, while also trying their own public recruitment tactics against China. It's a whole new frontier in the spy game, and you gotta keep your guard up, even just scrolling through job listings. They say practice good cyber hygiene. So, maybe don't overshare on LinkedIn. Worked as a nuclear analyst with top secret clearance is a job update spies love to see. Spy games are evolving. It's less trench coats and dead drops, more phishing emails and fake job offers. So, keep your guard up, because scrolling through LinkedIn might just be an audition for Mission Impossible. Boom. I'm out.